Since Mikel Arteta took over as Arsenal's head coach in December 2019, the London club has experienced highs and lows that have kept its fans in constant debate. Is Arteta the right man to bring Arsenal back to the top of the Premier League? While he has made some significant progress, such as winning the FA Cup in 2020 and improving the team's style of play, the results in the Premier League have left a mix of frustration and hope. This new video for Daily Soccer Planet analyzes the main causes and consequences of Arteta's struggles as a manager, with a focus on recent challenges in the title race against Manchester City, dropped points in the current season, disciplinary issues, and the tools he needs to lead Arsenal to success after more than 2 decades, Manchester City's hegemony and Arsenal's frustration. In recent seasons, Arsenal have come extremely close to winning the Premier League, only to see the title fall to Manchester City, led by Pep Guardiola. The 2022-2023 season was a clear example. Arsenal led the standings for most of the year, but a series of crucial draws and defeats in the last few days allowed City to overtake them. The reasons for this outcome are not only to be found in City's technical superiority, but also in Arsenal's internal problems, such as a lack of depth in the squad, individual errors in key matches, and an inability to manage pressure at decisive moments. Arteta, despite his tactical knowledge, has often been criticized for his rigidity in certain decisions, such as maintaining predictable lineups or not reacting in time with changes. At one point that season, he was 8 points ahead and was the leader for more than 200 days. In the last campaign, 2023-2024, he also came very close to winning the title. Last summer, he made his reflection in an interview with ESPN. Now you have had time, as you said, to analyze last season. A lot of progress was made and history was made at the club, but Arsenal was unable to win the league. How do you reflect on it now? When you are analytical and you put together all the statistics and everything the team did over the last 11 months in the Premier League, I feel like we should have won it. That's what the statistics say. The reality is that we didn't, so there is something that we haven't managed as well as Man City. I think we understand where those margins are. We came a long way. We were really consistent over the last 24 months in terms of performance and the levels we want to reach. But those margins are very small. It's one thing to get the 90% we want, and actually 10%, 5%, or 1% is what defines success and winning major trophies. Now we have to keep doing all the right things and look to get those small margins that will allow us to win tournaments. When you look at where it slipped, is it as simple as pointing to Aston Villa at home, or is it deeper than that? Again, it's the small margins. The game with Aston Villa, a 2-0 defeat on April 14th that left them 2 points behind City, with 6 games to play, was tough, especially when you look at the goals that were generated throughout the game. We should have won it, but we didn't. So efficiency in the box is crucial to success, especially when we are as dominant as we are now in many games. There are also decisions that are not in your hands, and they can take away a point, 2 points, or 3 points, and that can decide the title. In the end, we are going to have to be so good that our worst version will have to be much better than the opponent's best version. This is what we are going to try to do. And to do that, we are going to have to master a lot of things that will be difficult to identify with the eyes when you watch a football match. I will leave it there. Did it take you a long time to get over it? I don't want to get over it. I am really satisfied with how the team is performing, how the players are evolving, what the team transmits, the drive we have as a club, in all departments, not only on the men's side, but also on the women's side, what we are doing with the academy, the prospects we have there. But we need that pain and that hunger to achieve what we want, because the competition is incredible, and we are going to need everyone to feel that way to achieve it. If you're passionate about soccer and want to stay updated on transfers, news, and in-depth analysis, like Arteta's challenges at Arsenal, subscribe to our channel to stay informed about everything happening in the beautiful game. Dropped points in the current season, 24-25. The current campaign has been another roller coaster for Arsenal. So far, the team has dropped crucial points against mid and lower standings opponents, raising questions about their ability to compete consistently. Unexpected draws against teams like Brentford and losses to Newcastle and Tottenham have highlighted the following weaknesses: lack of offensive force. In several games, Arsenal have dominated possession, but have failed to translate that superiority into goals. This is the continuation of a problem from recent seasons, as Arteta mentioned in his interview with ESPN. Recurring defensive errors. Despite having quality defenders like William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, lapses of disconcentration at key moments have cost points. The discussion about Arsenal's defensive setup under Arteta has been a hot topic. Despite his formidable performance last season, he has conceded a total of 17 goals in all competitions this season, a result of several improvisations in different positions. Injuries and insufficient rotation. Injuries to key players such as Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard have exposed the lack of reliable alternatives on the bench. Also, to players in the defensive part, such as Kieran Tierney, who has returned to training after 6 months of absence, he could make his Champions League debut with Arsenal from November 2022, and Arteta was satisfied with the determination of the left back. He is ready and training very well, and he will have a chance, for sure, given the way the team is at the moment, said the Spanish coach. He will have it for that, and because he has earned it. Because of how he has behaved, because of how he has been with us, and because he wants it. When that happens, you have to give opportunities to that type of player. Disciplinary issues, an obstacle to success. Another recurring problem under Arteta's management has been indiscipline at critical moments. During the 2023-2024 season, Arsenal suffered several red cards in key matches, such as Granit Xhaka's red card in a crucial clash against Manchester United. These expulsions not only left the team at a numerical disadvantage, but also affected their morale and ability to close out important games. Arteta has been criticized for not taking stricter measures to address this problem. Although he has spoken publicly about the importance of discipline, his inability to eradicate this tendency suggests a lack of full control over certain aspects of the dressing room. The statistics bear reference to this issue. Since Arteta took over in December 2019, Arsenal have amassed a staggering total of 18 red cards in the Premier League, with 3 being issued in just 8 games this season. In comparison, Wolves and Everton lag behind with a combined total of 13 red cards. The Gunners are unlikely to challenge William Saliba's sending off in one of their most recent games against Bournemouth, which marked their first defeat of the season. Notably, Arsenal have triumphed in all 5 games where they have kept their full squad, but have dropped points in 3 games where they were reduced to 10 men. Addressing the media, Arteta stressed that rectifying this discipline dilemma is crucial and described it as an issue they must address, although he warned that discussing it too much could make the situation worse. Playing with 10 men is undoubtedly a challenge, Arteta said. Looking at the several incidents that led to our red cards, it is clear that the circumstances vary significantly. However, we simply cannot afford to continue playing with a man less, especially at this level of competition, he continued. To be honest, the most effective strategy may be not to discuss it too much. We have tried several approaches, communicating the importance of playing with 11 men, only to see the same mistakes repeated after short intervals. We need to adapt and find a way forward. It's the reality we face at the moment. Our red card count has fluctuated, and we are currently on a 3-match red card streak. Key causes of Arsenal's problems. The lack of experience in managing high-pressure situations has been evident in both Arteta and some of his key players. Arteta was asked directly if the failures in front of goal and the lack of goals are becoming a psychological problem for his players, and his answer was clear: probably yes. My job and what we have to do is to improve our players and try to get better results with the players we have, said the Spanish coach. Dependence on key players. Arsenal are overly reliant on stars such as Saka, Odegaard, and Gabriel Jesus, which leaves the team vulnerable when they are not available. and the lack of offensive production is noticeable, especially with Odegaard, who is in charge of putting together the creative plays. Arteta's inexperience. Although he has proven to be a talented tactician, the lack of previous experience as a head coach is reflected in tactical and managerial decisions. Necessary strategies for success. To finally win the Premier League, Arteta must implement the following: in-depth squad reinforcements, incorporating players who can compete for key positions and maintain the team's level throughout the season, thus avoiding dependence on indispensable players such as Odegaard or Saka. Better psychological preparation, working with sports psychology specialists to improve the team's mental resistance at decisive moments. Despite this, a year ago, Arteta made a new addition to his squad with the aim of keeping his players motivated, but it is not a psychology professional. The new signing, who has landed at Arsenal's training ground, is Win, a chocolate-colored Labrador dog who will become the player's best ally, as the newspaper The Sun has shared. The reason for this surprising addition is that dogs, considered man's best friend, have enough capacity to reduce people's stress levels. A simple caress contributes to improving mood in delicate personal situations such as defeats, according to several studies. Win's arrival will allow the Gunners' dressing room to be more united for the coming seasons. This dog, who currently resides at Arsenal's training ground, will surprisingly live with Bob, a cat that was adopted by the club after the death of his owner. Tactical flexibility. Adapt the team's system to opponents and game circumstances. Greater discipline. Implementing a system of internal sanctions to reduce unnecessary cards and ensure exemplary behavior on the field. Optimizing the use of the bench. Bet on a more active rotation that allows key players to stay fresh. Mikel Arteta has elevated Arsenal to a competitive level unseen in years. However, persistent issues have prevented the team from reaching Premier League glory. With adjustments to discipline, squad management, and tactical approaches, Arsenal has the potential to end its 20-year title drought. The future depends on Arteta's ability to learn from past mistakes and turn them into tomorrow's success. Can Mikel Arteta lead Arsenal to the Premier League title they've been longing for? Leave your opinion in the comments below. We're reading them all.